And when he tried to cut the when he tried to cut the cut tree, Professor Oak came back, and more yelling happened. It wasn't as bad, but it was still amusing. And then the same little Josh, I assume, it was in the same spot. I don't know if the guy who was posting this put them in the same spot, or if they were just there at the same spot. Both broke in almost the exact same way. Because the red version, I think, like, talked to the nearby Slowbro that the girl owns, near the south wall of Cerulean, and about the same thing happened. And again, both of these games looked pristine, and they looked perfect. The Nintendium, the motherboards, the connections, everything was just... they inexplicably failed. Then there were these, this one copy of gold and this one copy of silver. These games were not in so great condition. The gold, as the usual trend, looked perfect on the outside. Then he opened up the cart. He opened it up, you see. And inside was some unidentifiable liquid. Very viscous, very sticky, and it looked kinda like a combination of honey and orange juice. A combination I don't want to ever see. Needless to say, it didn't work. This was not the worst. You knew. I will post a picture. I will post the picture of the worst, guaranteed. And I'll have a little warning. The same warning he put. NMS. Not mind safe. Just describing it shouldn't be so bad. It's the seeing. See what was wrong with it. As he opened it up, it was bad on the outside. It was bad on the outside. But then he opened it up, and inside, I could have only wished it was that unidentifiable sticky substance. Nope. What was living in that cart was fungus. I guess the kid liked parasites. Perhaps he used spore one too many times. Or maybe he just left it in a humid place, but that's the boring answer, and you all know it. The guy also... Jesus. The guy also posted a video of him burning it. That's the only response. You have to burn it. Burn the witch. Hey, look, kids! I can use my hidden power psychic to great effect! Okay, I think I'm gonna stop the recording and pick up in just a second. Alright, time to pick this back up. Just was like a 20-second break to make sure everything was in order. And I forgot to do an audio test last time. So that 14-minute video, a lot of it might be a little desynced. I'm sure I've explained my recording setup before, but I have Cam Studio and Sound Recorder running separately. This helps in file sizes. It helps in processing power. It takes a lot less than running Cam Studio with audio. The problem is since I can't get them to both go at the same time, there's some desync. There's about a second and a half every time of it just of it just desyncing. So I have to fix that manually, and it's really hard to fix something manually if you don't do a test. It's really a bitch. So what I'm saying is, fuck that Raichu. What I'm saying is, give or take a second and a half on the first 14 minutes of the video. Well, it should translate into a little over a video. There's not much I'm cutting out of that. Plus, Megan's on her game. She's evolving things. She's teaching them decent moves. Ah, that was weird. Never mind. Let's see, other things from that Let's Break Pokemon Blue thread. I finally found out how Missing No works. Now, Missing No, this was not a good idea. Missing No is definitely the best known glitch in Pokemon Blue and Red. And I think it was taken out of Yellow, they fixed it. Now, everyone knows how to do the glitch. Once you can, you go to the old man in Viridian, you watch the whole thing, and then you fly straight to Cinnabar and surf along the east coast. Doing so will result in one of 3 seemingly randomized, extremely high-leveled Pokemon, including the possibility of Missing No. For a long time, I had no idea how it worked, just that there was some reason why it did. Well, the thing is, here's how it works. When you go to see the old man, the game has to change your name. Why didn't I just use Brick before? The game has to change your name. Your name is not Old Man, but it needs to have itself know the Old Man through a Pokeball. So, it takes your name and puts it where the random numbers for random encounters are decided. It puts it in the algorithm. It just says, you go play with the random encounters. And then the old man thing happens. And then when you go, the next time you go to somewhere where there are Pokemon, everything is fixed, your name goes back to where it should be, and the random encounters go back to what they should be. However, here's the thing. Cinnabar Island is not coded to have any random encounters. Normally not a problem. I mean, it's designed so that there are fishable random encounters, but not surfable random encounters. And the east side coast is still in Cinnabar. It's not in the next route. Or something like that. I might be wrong. It might be out of Cinnabar, but either way, that patch of water does not have any random encounters coded to it. Again, normally not a problem, because it would just say, alright, there's no random encounters here. And that's it. It has nothing to draw from, and it has no reason to think that there are normally random encounters there. However, it is coded as a patch of water, therefore the game knows that it is possible to have random encounters. It just does not have anything to draw from. Here's the catch. If your name has been told to play with the random encounter numbers, and the random encounter numbers aren't there in Cinnabar to put everything back into place, that means the game is using your name as hex values to determine the random encounters. You can't. Now, I don't exactly know what you have to have. I know MET, M-E-T, will work. I don't know the exact logistics of how it works, but I think it's first, third, and fifth characters of your name, maybe third, fifth, and seventh, will be the new deciding numbers for random encounters. Think 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 2, and then A is 10, B is 11, so on and so forth. And the game uses those as hex values. And there are placeholder Pokemon. There are all sorts of hex values in Pokemon that are not occupied by the 151 Pokemon in the game. Either just there are 2 reasons for this. 1, there are 255 places because that's just how programming worked. And 2, because I'm sure there were some Pokemon that they had intended to put into the game, but just did not have the time to code everything in properly. Want to get... Yeah, let's Ragnarok. They just didn't have time to code it in properly, and so a half-finished Pokemon was left. The most commonly known placeholder Pokemon is, of course, Missing No, and is the most nearly complete placeholder Pokemon. There are other ones, such as .4, these are all colloquial names, .4, Blocky, H-God, a lot of things like that, that are just, they don't work. There's a whole lot of garbled text, unreadable things, symbols, and so you just try to take from their name a good way to name them. And that's all you can do about it. Go 90 miss. 90% hit rate miss. So, Missing No is one such Pokemon. And since it is the most complete of the placeholder Pokemon, it doesn't mess up your game too much. Anyone who has stories of how, oh my god, Z Missing No destroyed my game, they're lying. Either they did something else, or they're just flat out lying to you. All Missing No does is it messes up the battle sprites, both yours and your opponent's, and it will pretty much obliterate your Hall of Fame on the PC.